Hello, my crafty friends, and welcome back to my little YouTube channel. I hope you're ready for this week's fun creative project, because today we're making, drum roll please, an oak pencil or brush holder from the game Heartopia, from start to finish. So let's get those craft supplies rounded up and let's get into the video. For today's project, you're going to be needing a few supplies. We're going to be needing some small balloons, the round ones, some stiff wire cutters, depending on how thick your wire is. You're going to need some papers to glue, like I used, I think it was a Wegmans or a Top Ad. You're going to need some Elmer's glue, a paintbrush, some homemade porcelain clay or clay of your choice, whichever you'd like to use, some sculpting tools if you have them, or just different size brushes or something so that you can smooth out some stuff. Going to be needing maybe some scissors, some masking tape, a container for your glue and water mixture, some fumarin or felt for underneath the base of your sculpture when you're done, so it doesn't slide around. And you're also going to need either a card, like an old credit card, or something plastic that's like flat so you can use it for smoothing later. And you're going to need a lot of patience depending on what kind of clay you use, because I'm not going to lie, some of the clay is a bit annoying. Here we're going to take a balloon and we're going to blow it up a little bit, and I put some masking tape around because I wanted it to kind of taper and give them kind of that belly. So I just kind of like squeezed it in a little bit just to kind of like give me the form that I wanted. And I rolled up some wire. It doesn't matter what the wire looks like. It's basically just to put the legs onto, because I want the base and the sculpture to stand up, because it's going to be moved around, and it's kind of like a weak point here at the feet, and at the point of the feet, and the base and the feet is kind of like the stress point, and around the bottom of his body. So this is kind of a stress point. So I'm trying to make sure that I put the wire and have the clay something to hold onto so that it all stays in place, and you can put the legs right onto it. Now I just cut strips of paper and kind of rolled them up to about what I thought was the appropriate size for his legs. And then I just kind of taped them up and tried to make, because I made 2 of these, so I put 4 of them about the same size so that I could put them onto the metal frame, so that would give that extra stability. And then I taped it onto the balloon. Now you got to be careful when you're taping it to the balloon and working with the wire and the balloon, because I popped one of them once. But that's going to be our base for our sculpture. Now, instead of using paper mache the traditional style, I don't use it anymore, because I learned from a professional paper mache artist that your paper mache, your traditional kind that we all grew up with, it smells. And I was working with this a while back when I did a cookie jar, and she's right, it does smell. And after a while, she said something about it collecting bugs, and I don't like bugs. Bugs belong on the outside of the house. So she used a mixture of Elmer's glue and water. Now it's a 50-50 mix of water and 50% mix of glue, and then you just use that. It works just as good, if not better. So that's what I used. If you want to use a traditional paper mache, you go right ahead and you do that. For me, I wasn't going to do that because I don't like bugs, and I find that it makes a lot of a mess with the regular paper mache, and I don't like cleaning up after it. So this is a lot cleaner. It works just as well, and it's not that hard to make. It's only 2 ingredients. So that's what I did. I did do for this project, I did do 2 of these at one time because every crafter knows that your first project never turns out. So I did 2 of them because I wanted one for myself and one for my sister, and we both love the game Heartopia, even though they use AI and some of the products and items that they have kind of don't look really all that great because I don't really like proofread it or anything. But I love the game. I think it's cute. I love it. We play it every day. So I wanted to make one for myself and one for my sister so I could kind of like make mistakes on my first one and then make the best one out of the 2 my sisters because she deserves it. Now I can link down below the recipe that I got from another lady on YouTube for the porcelain clay that I personally use. This is one of those craft project DIYs that you're going to have to kind of tweak for your own personal use depending on where you live and how you like to work with the clay. I have done a lot of work with this clay and I finally got the mix the way I wanted it to. So I will link the recipe down below and a link to her YouTube channel so that you can grab that recipe. And I also use her recipe for she does it by grams, I believe, and she actually weighs it all out so it's all perfect and everything. I don't do that because I have a weighing thing, but I don't do that. Basically, I just do whatever size portion of the porcelain clay that I have. I do about the same amount of the foam clay, and I mix the 2 together, which is what she does too. But like I said, she measures it out. I'm not going to do that because I always I start off with like a 50-50, like whatever the mass is for the porcelain clay, and I do the same amount of mass of the foam clay, and I just get it like the cheap stuff for like $1 from the Dollar General store. And then as I'm working with it, if I feel like it's still too sticky because the porcelain clay is very sticky and it's hard to work with, then I add more foam to it. Or if it's too tough and doesn't seem to want to work, I add more porcelain clay. So you're gonna have to kind of play with the proportions to see how it works out for you. Okay, here when I'm doing the paper mache, here you can see a better angle of the process of building a frame. Like I said, it's basically just a circle, and I put 2 bumps that can go up to the legs to kind of like bring it all together. And I'm just doing the same process I was doing. I just put the paper mache around everything to kind of get all the seams together because I don't want the frame and the paper mache to shift too many times. I already lost balloons on the inside, which is why I had so many problems. And I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but I felt like I had too many bumps and bruises or whatever because the balloons kept popping. I've had them for like 10 years. I haven't been to the dollar store in 5, no, not even 5, 3 years. So yeah, but yeah, just trying to blend everything together and make sure that our stress point, which is the base, the legs, and the body, are as sturdy as we can get them, because it is going to be very, very important, because otherwise if you tip it over, you put pencils in there, it is the stress point. So we have to make sure it's very, very strong and is not going to crack the clay or anything like that. And I can honestly tell you too, which of the clays that I have tried that actually I think is a waste of time. And hint, 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 it's from Crayola. Everybody claims that it was a great girls' night kind of clay, and I'm sorry, but it is just garbage. Do not purchase it. So yeah, just put that out there. I have had my fun with it. it's more of a pain than it's worth. And I took 2 years of clay class in high school, and yeah, don't buy it. It's from Crayola. Sorry, Crayola, love you, but yeah, that stuff is garbage. I put down this cheap Dollar Tree mat down on my desk because the clay doesn't stick to it too much, unless of course I've overworked it and overwarmed up the clay. It will stick to everything if it's too warm. If that's the case, just put it aside, grab another bunch of it, and because it gets kind of like warm from your touch, so if it's too warm and too sticky, just set that bit aside and kind of let it cool down, and then grab another hunk of it. But I put down it's a Dollar Tree cutting mat, and I put that down on the table because for many reasons. One, this is my recording desk, and it's my computer desk, and it's my craft table, my painting table. I don't want to ruin too much the desk mat because this is where I record from and I want it to look nice. And the clay doesn't seem to stick too much to this. Now, they claim that the porcelain clay and the foam clay doesn't stick to silicone sculpting tools, and I can tell you for a fact that that's a lie. It does stick to literally everything. There's a few things that are plastic that it does not stick to, but as far as anything else goes, it sticks to everything. It sticks to the sculpting tools that I got that are like, I don't think they're stainless steel, but they're like metal ones, and they stick to it. Sticks to that too. It sticks to my rolling pin. They claim it's acrylic. It doesn't stick to it. They're all liars. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a lie. It sticks to everything. But that's why I put it down there, is because it kind of doesn't stick to that mat. And I'm kind of rambling on today. Okay, I'm going to be using some sculpting tools to give the base some grass texture, or what will be the grass texture later on. You can either use like a poker type tool, like a little needle tool, or a needle from sewing. You can clean this clay off of the needle. It comes off with water. It's not that big a deal. So you can just like poke at it with like a needle or whatever you have. I did use some tweezers, and you basically just like go in and like tweeze at it a little bit, and it kind of like pulls at the clay and creates this grass type texture. When you're all done with your grass texture though, I want to give you a heads up. Go back through with a somewhat, either a wet finger from water, and just kind of like push it down your grass, just a very small amount, because as you're pulling those little hairs out for your grass, and if you let them dry, they do get a little bit sharp. Not bad, but it could scrape you. So just push it down. You're not going to lose the texture. You just want to give it a little boop, just to push it down so that nothing is sharp, so that it makes life a lot easier. Because if you go in later on and try to sandpaper it to kind of tone it down a little bit, you risk breaking your little grass hairs, and that's not really the look you want. If you really don't care and you're just having fun with it, that is completely 100% up to you. I'm just giving you some pointers here. This is what I do with it, because I don't want to be reaching across or trying to grab the base or something and then getting poked. So I'm just trying to look out for you guys, because I love you. Now this tool here is a silicone scraper thing. I got this from my diamond painting sealing kit, so that you can like seal the little diamond pieces that you glue onto your diamond painting. And I thought it would work great for trying to smooth things, and it actually did, but I didn't want to bust it either, because I have one more I've only done one diamond painting in my entire life, and I have another one that I have to do. I just haven't gotten around to it because I literally am so busy. I can barely function. I got so much stuff and so many ideas to do, and things I'm trying to do, things I want to do, ideas for videos and everything. I've got a laundry list of it, but I just don't have time to get back to it. So I ended up using a little plastic tool that I got in a cheap clay sculpture pack from Amazon. So you could probably use whatever you have, and just pencil, a knife, a dull knife. People, please be careful. Anything that you have that's flat that you can use to smooth it out and work it so that it's smooth. Now I tried here to get a smoother surface. I did put 3 coats of the clay. I don't know if I showed it in the video because I was trying to spare you the repetitiveness, but I did put 3 coats of clay down. The first one was to get down a a thin layer of something on there because I knew it was going to crack and I wanted everything to be filled in and to be uniform, so for stability purposes and strength. But to get a smoother surface here, I just used water and a makeup pad that I got for crafts because I don't wear makeup. Oh yeah, there's that smile we all know and love. Oh, look at his cute little face. Oaky Pokey Dokey. Oh, he's so cute. And he's not even done yet. I love it. Oh my god, look at his little smile. Okay, calm yourself, girl. Calm yourself. I love him so much. And I'm sorry that I don't really have very good camera views. I had a webcam along with my regular camera that I used to record, but the boyfriend needed the camera for Zoom calls and stuff like that. So I let him borrow it, which means it's no longer mine to use. So I will have to find another webcam so that I can have other views so I can show more of what I'm doing. And yes, if I let my boyfriend borrow something, that means that it's his now. That's the way it works with things. So yeah, I'm out. It was only $3, and it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. But I'll get another one. It's not a big deal.
That's my life in a nutshell.
So let's start. Now that those have set up, we can start forming the backpack and the water bottle and the arms. I was going to use these wires to like give the arms stability because I was worried about it being really thin and cracking and not working, but I decided against it because it was just going to be a pain in my tools. So I decided against it. I figured I would just let it go and we'll see what happens. Basically, that's all I did was just went with my gut, rolled up these little noodle things. Now, towards the shoulder, up at the top of his arm, it's more of a rounded bit. And towards his quote-unquote hands, if we were to have hands, it seemed like it was more flat. So I took my scissors and kind of snipped it and then just kind of like smoothed it around there because that's what it looked like in the reference. had to have a meeting of the minds with, my other crafty friend, and which is my sister. And she came up with the idea for doing the yarn balls and putting those together on there. And then I came up with a little headpiece. So it worked out well. So thank you, sis, for the idea. I love it when we have our little meetings of the minds to try and work out how to get this to work, because I was stuck. I'm not even going to lie. So thank you so much there, sis, for that. And other than that, I think the only other thing, I did come on here and the rest of this is pretty much well self-explanatory. The only part that you may have a little bit of confusion with is where to mount the backpack string and the water bottle string, but I just basically went from the backpack around his arms as best I could, and then back to his backpack, and then a line from the water bottle in front all the way around up and over his backpack, and then back to the front. It does look a little bit more complicated than that, but if you look at your reference photos, you'll see what I mean. But because of the way I put the arms down, I went from the backpack up and over his shoulders into the armpits for the first connection, and then behind his armpits in the back to the backpack. So it looks more complicated than what it really is. And basically, depending on the size of your sculpture, you can pretty much gauge what size you want to do for your yarn balls. Now, I had this yarn baller thing. This was a really great tool and I love it. I just wish that they would give you more options than just like 2 sizes to do yarn balls, because they come in so many different sizes. And it kind of is a pain. So I have a Martha Stewart yarn loom, and I just basically use that to make 3 different sizes for my pieces, because I wanted it to have like different sizes to give it a little bit different punch to it. So I did a small, a medium, and then an extra large or a large for the top poof. And when you're doing a yarn poof, what they say to do is to basically flatten it one way and make a circle and cut around that circle, and then like floof it the other way and make a circle. It really didn't matter to me if the yarn poofs were a perfect size or not, because I just literally wanted them to be like different. I don't really care if they're perfect poofs. It's a tree. So if it's got some character to it, I'm all for it, which is why I don't care if these are 100% perfect, because I just love the character. All right, everybody, and that concludes our video for this week of our Oak, or as I call him, Oaky. Our Oaky pencil holder or brush holder. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you try to make one of these for yourself. It was very fun. I had a lot of fun with it. And I hope you come back next week and join me here on Canvas and Craft. And as always, take care, stay inspired. I'll see you in the next creative adventure. Keep making beautiful things, one project at a time. Thanks for coming. Bye. Stay cool out there. We got a heat advisory, so drink lots of water and stay in the shade. If you have to do any work outside, why are you doing it in a heat advisory? All right, we're going to take care of yourselves out there, okay? It's a scorcher. All right, bye. And there we go. There we have it. There is our little guys. You can see them a little better. This one here is a little bit, but you can take the little top off of it here, and you can take your little pencils or your whatevers and stick them there in the top, your scissors, and stick them in the top, and then you put his little toupee back on there and hide it. There you go. Just wanted to show him off and give you guys a little bit of a better view of him. And yes, I made two of them. One's for me and one's for the sister. See how pretty? Aren't they adorable? No, I don't have one of those Lazy Susan things either, so I figured I'd come on here and make like a little quick video here and show you guys the result. On my other camera, they look a little different colored. You can see a little bit here, but I mean, I don't really care. I don't know if you really care about hiding the stuff, but okay, so there it is. These on my other camera kind of look like they're done in red, but they're really not. My other camera is weird, but like it's kind of like I try to do it true to the colors of Oak from the game, but on my other camera they look bright red and they're really not. So, but there they are. One for me and one for the sister. There you go. I think they're absolutely adorable. There you go. And then they've got the little padding underneath so they don't slide around on both of them. Kind of looks like that one got a little bit dirty on there, but doesn't matter. There we are. And then you just fluff up the little toupee. My name is Oak. How are you? Oh, I'm losing my toupee. There you go. All right, I'm done. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching.